So you like wine. Yes, it's fun, it's exciting, of course intoxicating, but it can be confusing, complicated, especially when we talk about Italian wines. So what is on the store shelves, on the restaurant wine list? What are the Italian wines in America? Well, my name is Stephen, and I'll be your guide. I live and work in an Italian neighborhood in St. Louis called The Hill. We've been given unprecedented access to the wine room at Charlie Gito's on The Hill. Well, welcome to the wine room. Today we're going to be discussing the wines of Sicily, Sicilia. Now, Sicily is an island in the Mediterranean. It's a very large island in the Mediterranean, one of the larger regions in Italy. The first thing that we want to say about Sicilian wines is that there are an awful lot of grapes grown there, many of which are international varietals. So you can go just about whatever you want in Sicily. And these can range from the sort of inexpensive, easy drinking end to the more expensive, more serious end. So, for example, Chardonnay, Merlot. Well, what about grapes that are more typical Sicilian? There are three main Sicilian white grapes: Carrarato, Inzolia, and Grillo. Now, our typical profile for southern Italian white wines would be of a medium plus intensity, typically no oak, citrus fruits, as well as stone fruits, as well as something more exotic, maybe more Mediterranean, figs or dates, medium acidity, medium plus alcohol, high complexity, full-bodied, and a long finish. These are also, of course, earth-driven, as are most of these Italian wines. So how does Carrarato fit in? Now, Carrarato is probably best known in the books as being the base for something called Bianco d'Alcamo. You don't see quite as much Bianco d'Alcamo as you did in the past. Most of the wines around there are becoming more and more red. Carrarato, also one of the bases for Marsala, as are all three of these main Sicilian varietals. Carrarato, strong citrus as well as floral notes. Inzolia. Now, Inzolia is also called Insonica, and it's found in Tuscany as well. Inzolia also fitting the profile of a typical southern white with some stronger citrus notes as well. Now, Grillo. Most of the Grillo that you see bottled is going to be of a softer, lighter nature. However, let's not write Grillo off as being something light and, well, not all that enthusiastic, because here is another Grillo. This is De Bartoli's Vecchio Samperi. Based on Grillo, it's aged for approximately 20 years in a Solera system. If you know Solera from the south of Spain, Sherry and Montilla Moriles. Aged in oak, filled with nuts and caramely flavors. It's almost like it's not even the same wine when we look at Grillo over here. Grillo also a very important grape in Marsala production. Speaking of Marsala, Marsala is probably the best known Sicilian white wine. Interestingly enough, that it's typically just used for cooking. So on the store shelves, you're either going to see Fine or Superiore. The higher forms, more advanced forms of Marsala typically don't make it to the store shelves here in the United States. Red wines. The main red wine, or I should say the main red grape in Sicily is Nero d'Avola. Nero d'Avola is grown all over the island, but we can draw some comparisons from the Nera d'Avola that's grown on the eastern part of the island as opposed to the western part of the island. So in Sicilia Orientale, on the eastern part, primarily in the province of Ragusa, in the Monti Iblei, the Nera d'Avola has a slightly higher acidity than what you see in Nera d'Avola that comes from, say, Agrigento, or in this case, in Trapani on the west coast. Now, Nera d'Avola in general is sort of medium everything. Medium-bodied, medium acidity, medium plus in alcohol, medium complexity, medium finish. It's right middle of the road, sort of medium everything. Definitely a party pleaser type of wine. We do want to discuss, while we're on the eastern part of Sicily, in Ragusa, Cereszuolo di Vittoria. In more recent times, in the last couple of years, you're seeing more and more Cereszuolo di Vittoria in the market. Cereszuolo di Vittoria is a blend of Nera d'Avola and Frappato. Frappato is more of a lighter styled wine, and Cereszuolo is a lighter style as well. Now, the alcohol is on line of what else you're seeing in Sicily, sort of medium plus, but this is going to appeal more to a Pinot Noir or a Gamay drinker. We want to talk about one more Italian red grape here, and this is Nerello. Now, there are two basic types of Nerello. There's Nerello Mascalese and Nerello Cappuccio. More and more you will be able to find Etna Rosso. So the volcano, l'Etna, in the province of Catania, there are grapes on the volcano and around the volcano to make Etna Rosso. This is made from Nerello Mascalese and some Nerello Cappuccio. So how is Nerello? Again, this is going to be probably most appealing to Pinot Noir drinkers. Acidity, medium. Alcohol, medium plus. Moderately tannic. So we'll say medium plus tannins, complexity high, body medium plus, and a long finish. A very elegant and let's say elegant and refined wine from Sicily, Etna Rosso. Sicily is also home to two fantastic dessert wines. First off, in Messina, in the Aeolian Islands, there's Malvasia della Lipari. Now, most of the Malvasia for Malvasia della Lipari comes from the island of Salina. You've probably seen this island in the famous film Il Postino from about 20 years back. But rich stone fruits, very characteristic of Southern Italian dessert wines. The other dessert wine we want to speak of is a Zabibo. Now, Zabibo is Moscato. So this comes from the word Zabib, which is of Arabic origin for raisin. Zabibo can be made all over the island, but the one that we want to address is from the island of Pantelleria. Pantelleria is an island halfway between Sicily and Tunisia, and they make an outstanding dessert wine, especially when it's done in pasito form or made from raisins. Pasito della Pantelleria tends to be somewhat expensive. It is somewhat difficult to find. When you see them, they're usually in this half bottle size in a 375, and they tend to have Arabic-based names on them, as most of the place names on the island of Pantelleria are of Arabic origin. Flavors here, very rich. For those of you that are Moscato fans, you may find it somewhat difficult to believe this might even be Moscato, with rich, almost maple syrupy-like aromas and flavors. Well, thank you, and I hope that you check out some of these other videos as well.